Hello viewers, I thank you for tuning into my video. I am Replay, and with the breaking news update that Payday Crime Wave Edition Twitter page had put up a tweet saying that Overkill had released content to Sony and Microsoft for testing. Later on to discover that this could not be content because their idea of content is actually just a new version of the game that they plan on releasing for consoles sometime in October. And this little bit of information is discovered on out of all sources on GameStop's webpage. When you go to look up Payday 2 on the GameStop webpage, you get the listing of Payday the Heist, Payday Crime Wave, and Payday the Big Score. And I'll bring up the discovery here with a listing of Payday the Big Score being available on October 11th for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, but no image released yet as to what the cover of the game will look like or whatever. But it looks like their idea of content is actually just a new version of the game, and they aren't going to say anything right away until it's almost released and just in time to start promoting their new version of the game and make another $50 from everyone when I'm just not going to freaking buy it. You've been discovered, Overkill, before you can even say anything. And now that a lot of console heisters out there have discovered this little gem, this little hidden gem that you guys are actually just going to release a new version of the game instead of releasing DLC. You've been discovered for you have a chance to freaking speak, and now you have to speak and correct it, or just not speak at all until it's time to just say, "Hey, buy our new game. Here's the trailer for the new game." You know, it's the same thing, except for we added in 60 pieces of content that we don't know how to operate properly to give to an existing version. We don't know how to freaking do it right, so we just tell you to spend another $50. Now, if it was asking me to spend $50 to have every piece of DLC installed into Crime Wave, I would happily do it. But if they're asking me to restart all my progress and by buying a new version of the game where they have all the content that Crime Wave has, plus the additional 60 pieces of content that they had yet to release to us, then I'm not freaking buying it. And I'm just fed up with Overkill at this point. But I'm going to have to sit and wait for a video of Overkill explaining exactly what this is all about. Or if they're just going to release another version, or this other version is going to be released as well as content for Crime Wave. If it's like that, then maybe I'm going to be okay with it. If they're solely reliant on trying to keep consoles up to date by releasing a version of the game once a year for consoles, then that's just a dick move, and I'm not going to frickin' be a part of your fan base anymore, Overkill. I'm not going to buy the game. And any small chance there is of me actually buying the game again, Payday Big Score, is if they actually start supporting this version for consoles. If they actually, in the coming months after release of Big Score, actually support it with content instead of just letting it sit as is and not going to release anything until next year for another version of the game to keep us caught up again. Because they just can't actually keep us caught up by releasing DLC for an existing version. They have to release yearly versions and expect us to start all over and spend $50 to $60 every single year on them. I'm not going to be a part of that unless it comes to that situation where this version means they're going to support this version. If they're not going to support this version, then I'm not going to buy it. So I'm not going to buy it right away, at least, and I implore you guys to never fricking buy it either. You can buy it if you want, and especially if they do actually support this. But don't freaking buy it. If at any point you do decide you have to buy it, make sure you buy it for a disc. Don't buy the digital download version because you just get screwed out of $50 permanently. I believe if you at least buy the hard disk version, at least you can return it when you discover that Overkill is just really freaking stupid and you no longer want to play this game, because at least then you don't have to own the game anymore and be screwed out of $50 forever. You can get rid of the game and go buy a game that's actually worth buying. But I guess we'll just have to sit back and wait to see what bullshit Overkill will spew out this time to promote the game or the content or whatever it is Overkill plans on doing that they just don't frickin' plan to tell us anything yet. Well, sit and wait once again until they actually frickin' bother to say something, and they better choose the words carefully. They better actually have a plan more than just once a year uh, new release version of the game, because that's just not going to fly, and I'm not freaking going to deal with that. You lost my if it's like that, you lost my support of the game, and I'm not going to deal with it. And I don't know how many other people you've lost their support of wanting to play your game. You created a good game, but you're doing it all wrong, and you just don't care. But that's all I have to say, and hopefully the next video will be something uh, uh, to say after Almir shows his face for a minute and 15 seconds, explaining what exactly it is they plan on doing for us console heisters. So hopefully that'll be the next video, and hopefully it'll be some good news, not another shovel full of bullshit. That's all I have to say. Forget payday. I'm not dealing with it anymore. I'll wait for the video. After the video, what is said will determine whether or not I'm just going to tell Overkill to go fuck themselves. And that's it. Until next time, keep calm, game on.